What's going on, Buckeye Nation? Here we are, live at the Horseshoe for today's final regular season game between your beloved second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, who currently sit at 10-1 overall and 7-1 in the Big Ten Conference, and they are hosting who? That's right. The truck is obviously here. It's been here since last night. The hated, unranked Michigan Wolverines, who currently sit at 6-5 overall, including 4-4 in the Big Ten Conference. And there's no understating the importance of this game, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because a win today for the Buckeyes guarantees them a spot in the Big Ten title game in a rematch with the currently undefeated and number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks. So let's get into it. This is game number 120 between these two schools. And we all know that, yes, Michigan still holds the all-time edge over the Buckeyes, 61, 51, and 6. Could be 61, 52, and 6 if the math seems off. Like, wait a minute, Andy, that's 118 games played. You said this is number 120. Well, as we all remember, 2010, Tattoo-gate, giving up that 37-7 win that they had in 2010. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Won't go into that. But let's get into these stats first, okay? Will Howard, having the career of his life, single game career that is, because yes, as we all know, he is the only Ohio State quarterback to ever have 6 games where his completion percentage has been 80% or better. But not only that, right now, William Howard, 3rd in the Big Ten with 2,685 yards. Yeah, not bad, right? He's 1st in the Big Ten, however, and 7th in the entire country with 26 touchdown passes. And those touchdown passes, ironically, currently tie him with a former Ohio State quarterback that played in this stadium last season. Yeah, the one and only Kyle McCord. Right now, Will Howard, though, 5th in the NCAA in passing yards per attempt at 9.56. Let's throw a 0.6 on there. And his passer rating at 180.5 is currently 2nd best in the nation. And 80% complete for 6 games this year. Yeah, his 74% overall on the season is currently the best in the entire country. And he's going to face a Michigan defense that, let's face it, folks, has been a shell of their former selves, right? A shell of last year's version. 72nd right now in the NCAA in passing yards allowed. Had 222 a game. They ranked 61st in the NCAA with 9 interceptions. They had 14 at this point last season. And their pass efficiency defense ranks 55th in the country. However, one thing they've been pretty good at doing this year is getting after the quarterback. Their 31 sacks is currently 3rd best in the conference. So not bad. And as we know, Ohio State, I mean, they've been pretty good, though, about keeping the opposing defenses off of Will Howard's back, allowing 13 up to this point in the season, which isn't too bad. But defensively, this defensive line for Michigan is very good, led by Mason Graham. Keep your eye on number 55. Everybody's talking about him potentially being a top 10 pick in the draft. So far, he's pretty much either matched or surpassed his total in 13 games from last year, and he's only 11 games this season. 38 tackles, 7 for loss, including 3.5 sacks. And I believe at this point last year, he finished last year through 13 games with 35 tackles, I believe 7.5 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. So once again, Mason Graham having a little better season this year than he had last year. And last year, He was a first-team All-Big Ten and second-team All-American. So number 55, defensive tackle Mason Graham. Keep your eye on him. Also keep your eye on defensive ends Josiah Stewart and TJ Guy. They've been beasts off the edge. So far, those two have combined for 19 tackles for loss and 14 of their 31 sacks. Stewart alone this season, 13 tackles for loss, including 8.5 sacks, which rank 4th and 2nd respectively in the Big Ten. But as I'm sure you heard this week, Ryan Day said it, and he has got an excellent point that they need to run the ball, because the team who traditionally has run the ball, and even more so during Ryan Day's now 7-year tenure, technically 6-game tenure against Michigan, because remember, Michigan and Ohio State didn't play in 2020, the COVID season that was supposed to take place here in the shoe, but we won't go into that. That's a whole nother story, right? Whoever has run the ball the best has won the game. So the 6 previous games that Ryan Day has been a part of, 2017 and 18, including those 2 seasons, because Ryan Day was one of Urban's assistants during those 2 seasons, and then the 2019 year, his first year as head coach, Ohio State won the rushing battle, all right? Over 200 yards a game that the Buckeyes ran roughshod against the Wolverines for an average of 246 yards a game. Michigan was averaging 117 yards per game on the ground in those first 3 games that Ryan Day was a part of. Fast forward now to the last 3 years. We all know that the Buckeyes have lost the last 3 games. Maybe it's because of the rushing attack. Maybe it's because of other things that, once again, we won't go into and make excuses for, right? We could find out later about those other things. But for right now, unfortunately, Ohio State has been on the losing end to the Wolverines, and they lost that rushing battle by an average of 235 yards to 104. So run the ball. And today is probably going to be a good day to run the ball, because it is cold. It's literally freezing outside. Look at my face, it's red. Look at my hands. Can you tell they're getting red? My fingertips are getting numb. My face is numb. I'm about to go inside. I'm gonna wrap this up here in a minute. This is gonna be one of the shorter pregame previews. But today could be a great day to run the ball. However, we've seen Ohio State, they've kind of been up and down when it comes to running the football, but the Buckeyes are still averaging 177 yards a game, 24 touchdowns on the year, and that's better than Michigan's 159 per game with a total of 17 rushing scores. So Ohio State has been running the ball better, but is this a game that we can rely on Travion Henderson and, quite frankly, kind of off Quinshon Judkins the last few games? I mean, Quinshon has not been running the ball as effectively as he was in the first half of the season. It's really been Travion who's been the man. So today, I think Ryan Day and Ohio State, Chip Kelly, if you are going to be successful running the ball, you've got to put it in number 32's hands and then hand it off a few times to number 1. Let's flip the script on that, because Quinshon has been leading the team in carries all season long per game. Basically, Travion's been the 1A, or the 1B to Quinshon's 1A. I think today you flip the script and you let Travion run the ball. If you do, he could have a triple dip today as far as yards are concerned. Not necessarily touchdowns, but at least as far as yards are concerned. But when it comes to running the ball, here's going to be the issue for both teams, because you're featuring 2 of the top 4 ranked rushing defenses in the entire country. In fact, Ohio State 3rd nationally against the run at 90 yards a game. The Wolverines right behind them at number 4, allowing 94 yards a game. So as much as Ryan Day and Chip Kelly and I even said, if you're going to run the ball, give it to Travion Henderson, this could very well be a day that you allow Will Howard to chuck it to Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, and your man Jeremiah J.J. Smith, even a G. Scott. Heck, flip it to Travion out of the backfield or Quinshon out of the backfield. This is a day that you may have to rely on the pass to get the job done. So, having said all of that, I never make a prediction for this one, folks. Every single time you hear me make a prediction, give a score, like me and my buddy Drew down at the Woody for a Wednesday at the Woody, we give our predictions, and I give my prediction here, although for those that know me know I am a super superstitious guy when it comes to this game. It's almost a reverse psychology thing where I don't want to give a score and think that Ohio State is going to win, and I almost say that they're going to lose just for reverse psychology aspect so I can be proven wrong. But when I'm proven wrong in that regard, I'm actually glad. But even then, I never give a prediction for this game. However, let me just leave you with this. It's the 18th time that these two teams have met where Ohio State is the ranked team and Michigan is the unranked team. And of those previous 17 meetings, Ohio State owns a commanding 13-4 advantage. In fact, you'd have to go all the way back to 1993, the last time that an unranked Michigan team beat a ranked Ohio State team, and that was when the 5th-ranked Buckeyes walked into Ann Arbor and took on a 6-4 Michigan team, and the final score was Michigan 28, Ohio State 0. And the last time that you would have to look at a ranked Ohio State team losing to an unranked Michigan team here in this very stadium, you'd have to go all the way back to Woody's 6th season. That's right, the Woody Hayes' 6th season as head coach, 1956, when a 12th-ranked 6-2 Ohio State team took on a 6-2 Michigan team who was for some reason unranked, but that's just where the AP poll had them. And once again, Ohio State was shut out by the Wolverines. It was a final score of 19-0. But 1956 is the last time an unranked Michigan team came in here and beat a ranked Ohio State squad. And here's your last tidbit. There has only been one game since the official rankings were made a thing in 1936. First official set of rankings were released by the AP, 1936. Since 1936, there has only been one game where a 2nd-ranked Ohio State team played an unranked Michigan team. And God, please do not jinx us by me saying this, but Ohio State won that game 50-20, and it was in Ann Arbor, 1961, and Ohio State went on to win the Football Writers Association of America National Championship. I'm just throwing out the facts, folks. I'm just throwing out the facts. Ain't no reverse psychology going on. I'm just throwing out the facts. So I'm going to leave you with that. Take it for what it's worth. But the chips are pushed in. They're in the middle of the table. Everything is on the line in this game. And all I can say is this. I'm feeling really good about today. I'm feeling really damn good, Buckeye Nation. Hey, this has once again been the Columbus Wired Quick Hit Pregame Preview. I'm Andy Evans. I appreciate you all watching out there. And I will be talking to you after the game. I might even have my buddy Sam Fahmy rolling with me. We'll see if he's available or not. He's a pretty busy guy after he gets done shooting them photos. But you know I'm going to be talking to you. And let's hope it's about a big Buckeye win. Everybody take care and enjoy the game.